Tonight, police witnesses take the stand in the Rolfe murder trial. Hear what they told the jury. Economic recovery or pie in the sky. Labor and the CLP clash over the Territory's future. The international border booster decision that's likely to have locals hopping mad. Also tonight, how Darwin waterfront plans to transform itself into a world-class attraction. And the dream that's about to become a reality as Alice Springs ramps up its crime fight.
This is 9 News Darwin.
Good evening. As Zachary Rolfe's murder trial enters its second week, witnesses have been asked whether there are limitations on the number of times an officer can fire if threatened with an edged weapon. The jury also given a demonstration with a firearm used for training purposes.
This is Constable Zachary Rolfe looking for Kumanjai Walker at Walbury Camp, 2 days before the fatal shooting.
You know Arnold Walker?
And 1 day after the 19-year-old, an arrest target had pulled an axe on officers. This vision played to the jury last week. Officers later locate Walker in Yuendamu on November 9, 2019, where Constable Rolfe has pleaded not guilty to murdering the teenager after being stabbed with a pair of scissors. Today, the jury heard from Senior Officer Superintendent Jody Nobbs. "Why did you endorse the arrest of Walker at 5 a.m, Prosecutor Sophie Callan asked. "It's a tried and tested framework," he replied. "It tips the opportunities in our favour, it gives us effective time and the cover of darkness. Does the possibility of the subject being asleep play into that in terms of risk mitigation? Certainly," he replied. In cross-examination, Rolfe's lawyer David Edwardson put it to the witness that if the offender, in this case Kumanjai Walker, seeks to deploy a lethal weapon, then of course the response is going to be completely different to what might have been contemplated in an ideal world in the plan of your crew. "Correct," the superintendent replied. While other police witnesses were quizzed about the expression edged weapon equals gun, Constable Mitchell Hansen agreed they were not taught to kill, but to incapacitate the individual, and the number of shots fired would depend on the individual and circumstances. Senior Constable Shane McCormack was also asked similar questions in the witness box. "You continue to fire, do you, until the threat is eliminated, finished?" Mr. Edwardson asked. "Well, I could fire, I could not, I could stop, I could fire again." In other words, it's all about the incapacitation of the individual who is posing a threat by seeking to deploy an edged weapon. "Correct," he replied. When re-examined by prosecutors, the witness agreed as a member of the NT Police, he was aware of a general order which applies to only use force that is reasonable, necessary, proportionate and appropriate. Senior Constable McCormack was also asked by Rolfe's lawyer to stand in front of the jury and demonstrate with a plastic training firearm how the two safety devices on his holster work. He said if there was a risk he had to deploy his firearm, he was trained to be in a state of readiness. The trial continues tomorrow. Amy Clements, 9 News.
The Chief Minister may have stirred up a hornet's nest, confirming international visitors will not fall under the Northern Territory's booster mandate when the border opens later this month.
Our mandate that we've got in place will apply to workers in those high-risk areas that we've identified. When it comes to the practical implementation of things like the Vax Pass, it's probably going to be extremely difficult to differentiate between a 2-dose international visitor and a 3-dose local.
The Territory recorded 757 new COVID cases today, 515 of them in the top end. It's been a busy day for the Chief Minister, who also revealed his roadmap for 2022, which featured big promises and billion-dollar projects. Mr Gunner's ambitious plan is underpinned by attracting tourists back to the Territory, but the opposition has slammed his speech as pie in the sky.
A speech framed as a comeback from COVID.
I'd like to not talk about COVID anymore.
Although the Chief Minister's address on the year ahead was very much focused on international arrivals as the ticket to economic prosperity.
Get the visitors back and they'll drive those tourism industries, which gets money flowing through the whole Northern Territory.
Pre-pandemic visitors brought in billions every year, but closed borders have left a big hole in the pockets of Territory tourism operators.
And some are absolutely decimated. It's most important in Central Australia, where they are heavily reliant on international visitation.
Michael Gunner's grand plan also promises to attract more skilled workers like nurses, currently in a critical shortage.
They're needed here and they're needed everywhere in Australia. I don't know where we're going to get them from.
Access to workers is going to be one of the critical things.
To lure them, serious cash will be splashed. $1,500 for every new worker in an industry experiencing extreme shortage, $2 million to attract tourism and hospitality workers, and more again for an international marketing campaign.
We need a lot of workers into the Northern Territory to take advantage of this comeback. We want them to call this place home.
The Chief Minister made an impassioned plea for people to buy property, singling out several projects like the Mount Bungie Gold Mine, Hydrogen Hopes and aerospace plans, which he believes will drive a population boom.
Michael Gunner's pie in the sky speech this morning gives little comfort to anyone who's deciding whether or not they should move to the Territory or whether or not they're going to stay.
Jack Hahn, 9 News.
The government's prayers could be answered by Darwin Waterfront, which has unveiled its plan for expansion. The proposed upgrade will turn the area into a world-class precinct for locals and visitors alike.
It's the jewel in Darwin Harbour's crown, and a blueprint to increase its sparkle has been unveiled.
It's a plan that will revolutionise the face of Darwin. We think it's a real game changer.
A $200 million Stage 2 development proposal has been put forward, but requires funding from both the Territory and federal governments.
We want to bring people in and then they'll enjoy everything else the city has to offer. Even better, we'll use it as a hub and spoke, so people come to Darwin to visit the waterfront and the CBD, then they'll go out to Litchfield, they'll go to Kakadu.
Not just for tourists, it's built with locals in mind. Fun for all ages, with swim-up bars, a tropical snorkelling lagoon, giant playground and a world-class competition surf park.
This will be accessible waterways, full of fish, full of surfing, full of swimming. You want to cool off, that means being in the water. You want to have a drink and something to eat in your hand. You want it to all be accessible and open to the public.
Those behind the plan say they're confident if funding is secured, construction could begin as early as this year and be completed by 2026.
While the build will initially focus on expanding the waterfront, there's potential for a new resort, sparking interest from private investors. Amy Sinclair, 9 News.
Alice Springs Council believes it may have found a solution to the town's crime scourge, real-time CCTV monitoring. First put forward months ago after Success Interstate, a date has now been locked in to bring the measure to fruition.
Across the Queensland border, Big Brother is helping battle crime. Real-time CCTV data, long on the wish list of Alice Springs Town Council.
We've been asking for this from the government since October.
4 months on, 9 News can now exclusively reveal work will commence in April to establish a joint CCTV control room within the Alice Police Station.
We're looking to base our program on the model of Ipswich, seen a vast drop in crime, huge numbers.
In the past fortnight, 45 arrests have been made across town. The technology aims to stop, prevent and solve criminal activity.
And there's already proof of its potential in the Red Centre. Detectives from Strikeforce Trident charging 2 males after police CCTV operators observed an unlawful entry on Saturday and helped intervene.
But a question mark hangs over the network's scope.
Are we going to just push the crime from the CBD area further out into the suburbs? Now, the suburbs are getting pummeled anyway. Are we just going to make it worse?
There's conversations too about resourcing. Mayor Patterson says there could be the opportunity for using a third party if police are stretched.
We're not saying it's going to fix everything, I want to be real about that, but it is a good start.
We need to see change.
Without change, there's only one real winner.
Some of these glazing companies down here should be listing on the stock exchange, I think.
Talia Saab, 9 News.
A fresh blow tonight for Scott Morrison. A new survey showing voter confidence in the government has almost halved during the pandemic. So the coalition is turning its fire on Anthony Albanese, trying to define him as weak on the economy and national security.
The parliamentary day began with a Valentine's wish.
And hope that we will approach today in the spirit of love.
It was dashed by experience.
This disunited, dishonest, dysfunctional government.
Labor's relentless assault on Scott Morrison's character is drawing blood.
Why won't the Prime Minister just do his job?
There followed a long list of achievements.
Over 93% of Australians are double vaccinated, one of the highest rates in the world, Mr Speaker.
But polls show the Australian people are marking him hard. A new study finds confidence in the federal government has almost halved from over 60% in May 2020 to just over 34% now. So the government's turning all its guns on the alternative, pitching Anthony Albanese as weak on national security.
And it's not just the Leader of the Opposition that you need to worry about, the whole front bench.
And digging deep into his past to link him with a tax policy from the Greens.
Death duties, Mr Speaker, death duties.
Which led to an offer of research assistance.
An essay of mine from first year economics at Sydney University.
The coalition is trying to paint Anthony Albanese as a risk, but overreached with a claim that Beijing backs a Labor victory.
And they have picked this bloke as their candidate.
It was too much for the Speaker.
The reference made by the Leader of the House about the Leader of the Opposition is not in order.
Little will be in order in this brutal election year. Chrissy Allman, 9 News.
It is the biggest security crisis in the post-Cold War era. The next 48 hours critical for Ukraine and the world. The White House has reiterated a Russian attack could come at any time as President Joe Biden reassures his Ukrainian counterpart of America's support.
On Ukraine's border, Russian pressure builds. Joint exercises with Belarusian forces named Union Resolve 2022 as a Russian submarine passed by Istanbul on its way to join the fleet now in the Black Sea. There are fresh reports US intelligence has details of a Russian invasion plan scheduled to start on Wednesday.
No, I'm not in a position to confirm those reports. We have good sources of intelligence, and they're telling us that, that things are sort of building now to some sort of crescendo opportunity for Mr. Putin.
After the US and Ukrainian presidents held a phone conference, the White House said the United States would respond swiftly and decisively to any further Russian aggression against Ukraine.
It is a time to stand up against those who would seek to bully.
Russia needs to back off, and it needs to back off right now.
America saying a diplomatic solution is still open.
The way for Moscow to show that it wants to pursue that path is simple. It should de-escalate rather than escalate. And it should not only talk about seeking a diplomatic outcome, but actually work toward one.
Europe correspondent Carrie-Anne Greenbanks in Kiev. And Carrie, I can only imagine the next 2 days will be a diplomatic whirlwind.
Well, they will, Paul. That's right. So the German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, he's set to arrive here in Kiev today, then off to Moscow. Boris Johnson is also planning more talks with other European leaders. And all this while Ukraine is now calling for an urgent meeting with Russia within the next 48 hours. The Ukrainian government is saying it wants transparency about Russia's plans. Paul?
Stay safe, Carrie. Thanks for being there. Our Olympians impressed in Beijing today, one Australian finishing moments from a medal, 2 others flying into the finals. And the action continued off the slopes, with Games officials making a controversial call late this afternoon.
Bree Walker was making moves on the track.
From top to bottom, and Bree's pumped.
And off it, visualising how she would slay what's called the Ice Dragon. The former hurdler had chased down the front runners, going from 10th to 7th to 5th.
Maintain that speed, 122, it's super quick.
The final run and the podium in her sights.
She did it! She is in it.
But she couldn't reel in the pacesetters, despite having the Walker clan in Cairns in her corner. An American took gold, Bree just half a second off a medal.
The girls who are out there who are in front of me are the best pilots in the world, so to be 5th behind them at my first Olympics, I'm so chuffed, I'm so happy.
Fresh from winning bronze in snowboard slopestyle, still works. The launch pad for big air, with Tess ranked 7th and through to the final. Teammate Matt Cox was also at his head-spinning best, still alive in the competition. And a decision which will surely cast a drug shadow over these games. 15-year-old Russian figure skater Kamila Valieva has been cleared to compete despite failing a pre-games drug test. She's already won 1 gold medal here and is hot favourite to win another tomorrow. In making the decision, the authorities took her age into account, but that's unlikely to silence the howls of protest which are sure to follow. In Genjikau, Damien Ryan, 9 News.
The hometown team has won the greatest show on turf. The Los Angeles Rams defeating the Cincinnati Bengals at Super Bowl 56. But it was the halftime entertainment that stole the show, a blast of nostalgia and Californian pride.
As Dr. Dre rose up, it was clear that the halftime show was now the main event.
Come on, everybody put your hands in the air. Put your hands way up in the air.
A family affair with hip-hop heavyweights. And a surprise appearance turning the show upside down.
Go show. It's your birthday.
A spectacle that only Los Angeles could deliver. As the NFL tries to repair its fractured relationship with black athletes and artists. After a resounding Star-Spangled Banner from country music star Mickey Guyton, complete with a military jet flyover, The Rock kicked off official proceedings.
Finally, the Super Bowl has come back to Los Angeles.
Tennis legend Billie Jean King manned the coin toss, and the capital of A-listers had plenty in the stands. Prince Harry, Jay-Z, Matt Damon, LeBron, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. And Kanye, although he might have found it difficult to see the game.
Who's the big NFL fan?
Definitely him. Definitely him.
She got it for me. It's her present to me.
I know how big this is for him, so I was like, I got to do it.
We got here on Friday.
And we haven't slept. Luckily enough, I was able to go to 88, but it's been a long time.
Whose house? Rams house!
More than 100 million sets of eyes on the game. Watch parties taking place around the world, including at home in Australia. And there was, of course, a football game. The LA Rams coming from behind, star receiver Cooper Kupp sealing the deal in the dying minutes.
Got it, touchdown.
The city of Los Angeles got its Hollywood ending. Rams fans will now party well into the night. At SoFi Stadium, Alison Petrowski, 9 News.
Certainly put on a show, don't they? Well, it's time for a quick check of Valentine's Day weather with Amy Clements. And now, Amy, I hear you found your very own Valentine.
PT, he's handsome, he's cute, and you want to know the best thing about him is that unlike any boyfriend, my golden retriever George doesn't speak back and does everything I say on command. And we're enjoying a lovely evening out here tonight at Cullen Bay, where love is certainly in the air after Darwin reached a very warm top of 33 degrees today. But we will be back a little later with your full weather forecast.
I'm speechless, Amy. Hello, George. See you later in the Bulletin. Ahead in 9 News, the ex-wife of Ben Roberts-Smith takes the stand. Her bombshell testimony about her confrontation with his mistress, that is next. Well, a former NRL star walked free from jail after sexual assault convictions were quashed. And trapped in their hotel, frightening video as guests jump out of windows to stay alive.
Just 8 years old and left to die, Elizabeth's parents allegedly thought God would heal her. Now they're charged with murder. A current affair tonight.
I'm excited to help our couples build pleasure-positive connections.
The science of sex is glowing.
Oh my God!
Tonight,
The whole point of this week was man up, Al.
the steamiest week ever.
Oh.
For better
I've been with some girls that are like you, except more confident in the bedroom.
or worse,
This is probably the most confronting thing I've ever had to do.
married life will never be the same.
This week should be goddamn fun.
Intimacy Week starts tonight, 7:30 on 9.
Get your Woolies worth with prices dropped on hundreds of healthier products online and across the store. Making healthier easier, that's today's fresh food people.
Ask your healthcare professional about the OptiFast program at Chemist Warehouse to meet your weight loss goals. OptiFast Shake 18 packs are just $47.99 each. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
Gateway's restaurants are absolutely serving up the tastiest meals at Pavilions. Absolutely everybody can have a great lunch or party after dark by Pavilion's stunning water fountains. Whatever you fancy, from Japanese to a gourmet burger, quick bite or a bevy, party on at Pavilions. At Gateway.
He's here again. Exquisite. Is he Scandinavian? How exotic. We'd never leave the house. Why am I still thinking about this? That's it. I'm taking him home now. This all looks so good in my lounge room. Cam Interiors. Furniture you'll love to live with.
Trash and Treasure Recycle Shop, based at the Shoal Bay Transfer Station, employing people of all abilities. Repurpose, recycle, decrease landfill. Shoal Bay Trash and Treasure, another initiative of HPA, now offering NDIS coordination of supports.
The former wife of Ben Roberts-Smith has broken her silence on her marriage to Australia's most decorated soldier, telling a court she was pressured by him to lie about his affair. Emma Roberts today denied accusations. She made up evidence because she loathes him.
She was by his side when he was an unknown soldier, celebrated his success as a war hero, and Emma Roberts even stood behind her husband after being confronted by his mistress. How do you feel about giving evidence against your ex-husband today? An emotional day in the stand, testifying for 9 newspapers, detailing suspicions of Ben Roberts-Smith's affair and the day his girlfriend turned up to the family home with a black eye in April 2018.
Hi Josh, how are you?
I asked her, what happened to your face? She said, I fell down drunk a set of stairs at Parliament House. The woman, whose identity is protected, has since alleged she was assaulted by the VC winner in a Canberra hotel. I asked her whether she had come for money or if she was going to the press. She said, I'm not a prostitute. She told me she had fallen pregnant during their relationship. I said, did you lose it or did you have an abortion? And she didn't answer me. Ms Roberts claimed she confronted her husband and was told the only way we'd survive was to suggest we were separated. He pointed to our children and said, if you don't lie, you will lose them. When news of the cheating broke, the couple posed for a front-page story. Ms Roberts says she was encouraged by a Channel 7 publicist to look sad. Emma Roberts broke down in tears under cross-examination, struggling to answer questions about the articles alleging her former husband was a war criminal. She told the court people broke off friendships, and she was even asked by one of her daughters why Dad doesn't smile anymore. The mother of 2 has denied accusations she is fabricating evidence because she hates Ben Roberts-Smith. Tiffany Genders, 9 News.
Jared Hayne is tonight dreaming of freedom after his 2 convictions for rape were quashed on appeal and a 3rd trial ordered. The former NRL star has spent 9 months in jail after being found guilty of assault, but could be released on bail tomorrow.
From a code hopper to court hopper, Jared Hayne's first rape trial ended with a hung jury in 2020.
I told the truth and I do it all again.
2021 tried all over again. A jury deciding his story didn't add up, guilty of 2 counts of sexual intercourse without consent. Jailed for a minimum of 3 years, 8 months. 9 months behind bars, and then today at the Court of Criminal Appeal, the 33-year-old's convictions quashed. The former NRL star was accused of sexually assaulting a 26-year-old woman on grand final night in 2018. Police alleged he caught a taxi to her home in Newcastle, leaving the meter running while he allegedly sexually assaulted her and left her bleeding before travelling back to Sydney. The Court of Appeal ordering a 3rd trial. Hayne's lawyers were successful on 2 separate grounds, arguing direction given to the jury in trial 2 was flawed and evidence presented at that same trial should never have been heard. Hayne's trials, like his career, have been closely watched.
Get out of here, mate.
His team now preparing a renewed defence. His manager Wayne Beavis telling 9 News it's a great day, a great result. Any retrial now in the hands of the DPP.
We have an important principle in our country, and that's the rule of law, and people have the right to the presumption of innocence.
Right now at Cooma Correctional Centre, the once celebrated footballers' next round, a bail hearing tomorrow. Ruth Wynne-Williams, 9 News.
Guests have been forced to jump for their lives, leaping out of windows as flames tore through a hotel in Barcelona. Passers-by hauled mattresses onto the street to act as landing pads. One person was killed in the fire, 8 others were injured. Still to come in 9 News, watch as a dangerous driver tries to run down a group of scooter riders. Battered and bruised, a family targeted in an alleged racist attack at a suburban pub. And the undeclared item that forced a passenger jet into an emergency landing.
Okay, 100, are you ready?
Tuesday, Tom Gleeson is here to play hard
I take my quizzes very seriously.
and cause chaos.
This is Channel 9's revenge because of the gold Logie, isn't it? I can feel it. They invited me on here to see me lose.
New The 100, Tuesday after Married at First Sight.
At your local Choice Mine, get your kitchen reno sorted with bonus gift cards on selected cooking appliances over $299. Starting from scratch or just sprucing up your kitchen, get the latest and greatest from all the big cooking brands like Chef and Electrolux, Fisher & Paykel, Smeg, Westinghouse, Euromade, Bosch, Ilvi and heaps more. Plus save up to $1,000 on the awesome Belling Richmond Deluxe cookers. And get bonus gift cards on selected cooking appliances. Get in now to your local Choice Mine.
Darwin Accommodation Services offer a range of disability accommodation and support services, including SIL, STA, SDA and MTA. DAS Accommodation and Support Services, another initiative of HPA, now offering NDIS coordination of supports.
Gateway is absolutely your place to enjoy a treat or get active. Indulge at Candylands. But don't sweat it with Fitness Playground open 24/7. Plus, there's loads of healthy living and sports stores to get you pumped and feeling great. Or just have a great time. At Gateway.
The wet season. It's sticky and unpleasant, but it doesn't have to be. Call Fridgelect now. Our local specialists have the perfect Daikin air conditioner for you, and in most cases, we can install a new Daikin within 48 hours. Imagine a cool, climate-controlled home environment where you and your family are comfortable 24 hours every day. Set the temperature and that's it. You won't leave home until May. We also provide a fast service response and offer full repair and maintenance capabilities. Don't sweat through one more day. Call Fridgelect now.
Luxaflex Evo MagnaTrack awnings, the only straight drop awning in Australia with a self-correcting feature, returning fabric to channels if dislodged. Fiberglass fabric allows for awnings up to 6.5 metres wide, while magnetic channels keep fabric tight. View a demo now at Dabsco.
Mysterious objects tearing up the sky. Bombshell evidence that stunned the Pentagon.
These are real objects.
Liz Hayes and the world's leading minds.
It has to come from somewhere.
To the Top Gun who saw the impossible.
Flew 20 feet next to the canopy.
Mankind's greatest question ripped open and thrown.
Under the most meticulous investigation.
Wednesday at 9 on 9.
A traumatised family's been bashed and told to get out of the country in a brutal and allegedly racist attack in a hotel car park. One of the victims was so badly beaten, he spent the night in a Melbourne hospital.
Lynn Barr, battered, bruised and broken inside.
For me to get assaulted with this, never in my life it happened. Just
the 54-year-old spent Saturday night in hospital, punched and kicked to the ground in the car park of the Lynbrook Hotel. Just thinking about it brings him to tears.
They scuffed me on the ground and started punching me, kicking me on my ribs.
This is one of the accused attackers, brutal and allegedly racial.
We got off the car and straight away he said, "You f***ing Indians, you f***ing Indians, get out."
And get out of this country. You don't belong into this country.
The whole family was there. Jacqueline and her husband were the first struck. Brother-in-law Lynn tried to help her.
My sister poor thing, she'll be hit and pushed. That's where I came to pull him out from her.
The family suspects their headlights caught one of the men urinating, while this social media post has seemingly had the desired effect. The 29-year-old coming forward to, he says, explain his side of the story. It's hoped security cameras at the hotel filmed at least part of the altercation, but when we approached management today, they responded with a no comment, while the family's ending the ordeal with this message.
We don't want any harm to come to you, but learn a lesson. Treat everyone equally. That is what is my message to that boy.
We are all one. Please, do not do this to anyone.
Adam Hegarty, 9 News.
A driver's been captured targeting a group of scooter riders on a main road in Melbourne. 4 men leapt for their lives as the driver appeared to chase them down. They then tried to chase down the driver, who fled down the wrong side of the road. James Packer set to walk away from Crown Resorts with a multi-billion-dollar payout. The disgraced casino operator has agreed to accept an almost $9 billion takeover offer from a US private equity firm.
For Crown, the chips have been down for some time. Now it's finally cashing them in.
Crown believes the offer is compelling for our shareholders to consider. The price appropriately reflects the value of Crown's world-class assets and global reputation for premium service and experiences.
The offer comes from US private equity giant Blackstone, which, among others, has been pursuing Crown for almost a year. Blackstone upped its initial offer of $11.85 a share in March last year to $13.10 today. That values the company at $8.9 billion, a 32% increase on when it last traded in November last year. Owning 37% of Crown shares, James Packer will walk away with $3.26 billion if the deal goes ahead.
I get $13.10. In the current environment, that's probably fair and therefore probably a good deal for right now.
The agreement with Blackstone also highlights the strength of the Crown brand and confidence in our future as we emerge from some challenging times, which is welcome news for our people, our customers and our stakeholders.
Those challenging times followed explosive revelations of money laundering and other failings by Nine's newspapers and on 60 Minutes. Crown's shiny new Sydney casino has never opened, its licence suspended after a New South Wales inquiry deemed it unfit to operate it. A Victorian Royal Commission levelled similarly damning findings, only allowing it to run its Melbourne casino under the oversight of a powerful manager for 2 years. A Perth Royal Commission is expected to deliver its findings next month. The deal with Blackstone still has to be signed off by Crown shareholders, but the company hopes that can happen by mid-year. Even so, Blackstone still has to gain approval from gambling regulators in each state before it can run any of the casinos. So what does Blackstone get out of this?
They get a very strong brand, they get a very good blueprint and footprint into a region they've been wanting for a while. Don't forget, per capita, Australia is the largest punting nation on the planet.
Eddie Meyer, 9 News.
A slithering stowaway has been discovered in the overhead compartment of a domestic Air Asia flight in Malaysia. The passengers spotted a snake just after takeoff from Kuala Lumpur. The plane was diverted and the reptile carefully removed. Still ahead in 9 News, we were told our QR code data was safe, but a 9 News investigation's uncovered a leak. Tonight, the stunning details. Magnate on a mission. Clive Palmer leaves his $40 million super yacht to face court. And how Nine's Ben Dobbin was saved from a heart attack. Here is health warning.
Just 8 years old and allegedly left to die.
I thought their beliefs were crazy.
Elizabeth's parents allegedly thought God would heal her.
She wanted to be a doctor to help other kids with diabetes.
Now they're charged with murder, and a family religious group is in the spotlight. A current affair next.
It feels good to have carbon-neutral mobile coverage that cares about all of life's creatures. The big, the small, even the crustacean-y. Pretty sweet, eh, Prawny? Pretty sweet.
your antibacterial and cleaning needs covered with Harvey Distributors' range of hand soaps, antibacterial wipes, dispensers and stands, hand sanitisers, alcohol wipes, gloves to suit your needs, disinfectants and sanitisers. Open Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 5 p.m, Saturdays 8:30 a.m. to 12.
That's the Harvey Distributor way.
Beds R Us create mattresses for you, designed for you, support for you, comfort for you, beautifully crafted cutting-edge technology, and starting from just $9.99. Get the sleep you deserve. Try them now at your local Beds R Us store.
Are you sharing your home with ants, cockroaches, spiders or rats? With Quack Pest Control, we can help get your property back. With our yearly treatments and reminders, your home can remain pest-free. Specialising in domestic and commercial applications, with over 50 years of Territory family experience, call our friendly staff today. Quack Pest Control. All our patients die.
ANZ Tennis Hot Shots is fun, social and active. And it's the easiest way for kids aged 10 years and under to learn how to play real tennis, build skills through active games, get professional coaching and guidance with a modern program designed to help every child of every age and ability. Best of all, you can unlock your NT Sports voucher at any of these NT tennis clubs. See your local tennis club and ask how your NT Sports voucher can unlock a lifelong love of tennis.
Cruise the Top End's coastline and Darwin's harbour with 007 Jet Ski Adventures. Incredible views, history and excitement, we've got the lot. Tours depart daily from sunrise to sunset, only 5 minutes from the Darwin CBD. Hit the tracks and kick up some dust in Charles Darwin National Park and Hidden Valley with 007 Off-Road Adventures. Book online or call us today at 007 Adventures.
Miner turned politician Clive Palmer has stormed off his $40 million super yacht and into a federal courtroom to sue the West Australian Premier. The billionaire claims his feelings were hurt and his reputation damaged when Mark McGowan closed the border and called him an enemy of the state. WA's leader has lodged a counterclaim, saying he suffered distress and embarrassment when Mr Palmer said he was a liar. Mr McGowan's expected to fly to Sydney to give evidence in person. The QR code check-in system is tonight at the centre of a massive privacy breach. 9 News can reveal the addresses of defence sites and domestic violence shelters were made public online. Experts say the consequences could have been deadly.
Australians have been checking in to get in, using QR codes so contact tracers can track the virus and businesses can be COVID safe. Governments advertise the technology as
easy and secure contactless check-in.
But 9 News can reveal a leak. More than 500,000 locations in New South Wales, Victoria, the ACT, Queensland, South Australia and Western Australia, which had registered as having check-in codes, were made public via this New South Wales government website. For months, the addresses of domestic violence shelters, normally undisclosed locations where women and children flee to be safe, were visible.
It could be a matter of life and death.
The data also contains addresses of hundreds of defence sites, a Navy missile maintenance unit, bombing ranges. There were also weapons storage facilities, locations of police, including the highly trained Special Operations Group, as well as corrections facilities, critical infrastructure systems, including power stations and tunnel entry sites, even private addresses and the home of at least one celebrity.
It just boggles the mind as to why there's even a necessity to publish this sort of information.
In September, technical analyst Steve Stevens found the data was public and authorities were alerted.
If the wrong people have got a hold of this, could be used for bad things.
On October 12, the New South Wales Customer Services Department said the data was taken down because it identified issues with the integrity of the data, but the government had not said what the integrity issue was.
I was advised of this morning in relation to certain information that was uploaded in error in respect of QR check-in locations, and it shouldn't have happened.
The state government says the Privacy Commissioner reviewed the leak.
All that information was taken down.
But those who argue vulnerable people could have been at risk say it should never have happened, and it raises more questions about how authorities handle our information.
There needs to be additional checks in place. It really is the government's job.
Jonathan Kersley, 9 News.
A warning tonight from one of our own on why Australians shouldn't ignore their health. 9 News reporter Ben Dobbin has just survived a heart scare, which doctors say would have killed him if his mates hadn't intervened.
5 a.m, 3 days a week, the Walrus Fitness Club, Ipswich Division, sets off.
Oh, boys, over here, Captain.
They walk, they chat.
If you keep walking, you'll get a shirt.
But for all of their light-hearted banter, they also look out for each other. A couple of weeks ago, founding member and our 9 News reporting teammate, Ben Dobbo Dobbin, had a major scare.
We started running because it started to rain, and the pain I got in my chest just here and just in my arms right there was... I couldn't describe it.
I just said to him, mate, I said, don't muck around with that sort of stuff.
We sort of just kept pressing when we got back here for a coffee. Mate, you got to go and see someone.
Dobbo took his mate's advice. Just hours later, he was here, St Andrews, Ipswich.
It's all happening today. The ticker's getting fixed. Jesus, I'm lucky.
Just 45 years old, Ben was rushed into surgery to save his life.
All it's done, a big stent went in there. I'm lucky.
Dobbo had a severe lesion in the most important artery that supplies the heart muscle, and a lesion in that location we often refer to as a widowmaker lesion.
Dobbo now wants to warn others and encourage families and friends to have what can be a difficult conversation. He needed one 10 years ago.
We're in trouble here. We're not showing we're hurt and it's just a flesh wound.
His big personality couldn't mask what was a big problem. He was terribly overweight.
You've got your chicken, you've got your turkey, you've got your ham, you've got your beef. What more would you want for Christmas?
Honestly, I was 160 kilos. I ate and drank what I want and did zero exercise and never got checked out.
Dobbo has since turned to fitness, much healthier eating and drinking habits, stopped smoking, and has undergone extreme weight loss surgery.
It was the best thing I ever did because it shifted the weight off me.
He's dropped a whopping 62 kilograms in total, now weighing in at a much trimmer 98 kilos. Dobbo's looking, and for the better part, feeling a lot healthier. If only his lifestyle had always been like this.
But I'm a 45-year-old male working full-time, divorced with 3 kids, remarried, and you need to give yourself some time. You have to go to the GP.
Doctors expect Dobbo to return to full health, and that's a massive relief to new wife Amity, who'll never complain about spending early mornings alone when it's only 3 days a week.
I've only just really met Ben and got him, and so I don't want to lose him just yet.
Jonathan Upton, 9 News.
Herding sheep across open paddocks is hard enough, but a central Victorian farmer has somehow managed to corral more than 1,000 animals through town. With the assistance of 5 dogs and a horse, Ben Weir successfully drove 1,400 head of sheep through Bialabar, documenting the feat from above. About 200 people live in the small town west of Bendigo. Suffice to say, the spectacle caused little disruption. Coming up in sport, Nightcliff shows no mercy, wrapping up top spot in the NTFL. We reveal whether Nathan Cleary's grand final tattoo spells champs or choamps. And that Rams Cup runneth over. All the highlights of a thrilling Super Bowl 56.
In 1 second, the world opened up.
The sinkhole at La Brea, we don't know how deep it goes.
Nobody goes anywhere alone until we figure out what's going on.
Television's
Right now, we need to stick together.
biggest new mystery.
We're going down there, and you're going to help us do it.
La Brea. Tonight at 9 on 9.
There's a new ute in town. Introducing the LDV T60 Max 4x4 diesel. A massive 160 kilowatts of power from just $34,490 drive away. Visit a dealer today. LDV. Bring it on.
Get the most out of your outdoor living space this season with quality furniture, barbecue smokers, coolers, accessories and more from Barbecues Galore Darwin. With a wide range of great stock now available, come in and check out our extensive range, including the popular Ziggy series of portable barbecues. For all things outdoor living, you can trust the local experts at Barbecues Galore Darwin, Stewart Highway, Berrima, next to Amart. Step outside and live.
Harvey Who, Harvey Who, for your commercial cleaning needs.
Your antibacterial and cleaning needs covered with Harvey Distributors' range of hand soaps, antibacterial wipes, dispensers and stands, hand sanitisers, alcohol wipes, gloves to suit your needs, disinfectants and sanitisers. Open Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 5 p.m, Saturdays 8:30 a.m. to 12.
That's the Harvey Distributor way.
Cruise the Top Ends coastline and Darwin's Harbour with 007 Jet Ski Adventures. Incredible views, history and excitement, we've got the lot. Tours depart daily from sunrise to sunset, only 5 minutes from the Darwin CBD. Hit the tracks and kick up some dust in Charles Darwin National Park and Hidden Valley with 007 Off-Road Adventures. Book online or call us today at 007 Adventures.
Make HD Pumps your first choice for pumps and water industry equipment, domestic or industrial, from pumps and irrigation to pressure cleaners and agricultural spray equipment. We stock only the highest quality energy and water efficient products that you can rely on to get the job done right. Plus, we provide comprehensive installation, repair and electrical services that are second to none. Visit us online at hdpumps.com.au. HD Pumps, Winnelli and Humpty Doo, making water work.
ANZ Tennis Hot Shots is fun, social and active. And it's the easiest way for kids aged 10 years and under to learn how to play real tennis, build skills through active games, get professional coaching and guidance with a modern program designed to help every child of every age and ability. Best of all, you can unlock your NT Sports voucher at any of these NT tennis clubs. See your local tennis club and ask how your NT Sports voucher can unlock a lifelong love of tennis.
This sports report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop online, mobile or in-store today.
Nightcliff continue its NTFL domination, securing a fourth straight minor premiership with a 53-point victory over Southern Districts. With 1 round remaining, the Tigers sit 6 points clear of second place Waratah, the side they face on Saturday in a finals dress rehearsal. GWS forward Jesse Hogan is in a race to get his body right for round 1, and there's an added sense of urgency. With live wire Toby Green suspended for the opening 5 matches, Hogan looms as a crucial part of the Giants forward line.
At the ripe old age of 27, it's not unusual to see Jesse Hogan cut a lone figure during pre-season.
Unfortunately, I have to modify my training a little bit and I can't get through those massive weeks as well as I used to, but we can still get a lot of work done.
Hogan kicked 20 goals in 9 games before calf injuries derailed his first season with the Giants. This year, it's no secret Leon Cameron needs more from the talented forward, with co-captain Toby Green suspended until round 6.
We're obviously planning for it, so we know he's not going to be there, so we're training things and we're going to have a few different looks. Toby's a player that not one person can replace. I think as a whole forward line we're going to all have to chip in.
Arriving in Sydney after his ill-fated move back to his home state with Fremantle, Hogan's career hung in the balance. But a friendship with veteran ruckman Shane Mumford, who let Hogan live in a granny flat at the back of his house, helped him find his feet.
No, I do miss him, but it was good to get a bit of space. He's back now though, so he's got a coaching role, so I'm still working pretty closely with him.
Now with another 1-year extension under his belt, Hogan has no doubt his best football can still lie ahead of him.
Your second year is obviously going to be a bit more settled than your first year. I'm in a really good space with my head and with my body. We've got a really well-connected group and we're really just looking forward to getting into games.
Alicia Muirling, 9 News.
Nathan Cleary remains hopeful of being ready for round 1 as he carefully recovers from a serious shoulder injury. Any game time Cleary misses will be a blow for Penrith as they begin their quest for back-to-back premierships.
It was a brief moment between father and son that was a lifetime in the making. Nathan's grit in playing with a shoulder that should have been operated on is the stuff of grand final legend.
The courage you showed to get to where you did, it's going to be remembered for a long time. Is that the thing you're most proud about?
Nah, not really. I think I'm just proud to be a part of a team that showed so much courage. There was a lot of boys battling through injuries, and I think that gave a lot of us strength to just keep going and not let each other down.
It was such a serious injury that he's still racing time to play in round one.
Shoulder, are you back round one?
Hopefully, yeah, that's the plan at the moment. It's going pretty well, but still just got to tick off the last aspect, which is the full contact, so pretty happy with it at the moment.
When's full contact start?
Not overly sure. I've kind of just been modified for a little bit now, just easing my way in.
The Panthers need Nathan to be sure about his health. Going back-to-back is a rarity, and it's close to impossible without Cleary.
That Roosters team was obviously filled with superstar players, and they did it their own way. And we're very focused on ourselves. And as I said, we can't look that far ahead. We've got to be process-driven and not worry too much about results. That will come if we get the process right.
Nathan does face an issue if they win again. He's gone all out with his first grand final tattoo, and there's some conjecture if it says champs or choamps.
What room have you got left for if you win another comp?
Yeah, there's room there. There's room. So we'll work that out if it comes.
So have you told your parents you're going for the new Todd Carney look, or?
No, I don't know about that. It's just the one, so we'll see how we go.
Dad said he's going to get the same one till he saw it.
Yeah, it's a bit surprised by it, but I think he's pushed it out again this hat now.
It says champs, right? Not choamps, yeah?
Yeah, well, I think so.
Danny Weidler, 9 News.
Australia has the chance to wrap up the T20 series tomorrow night after taking a 2-0 lead against Sri Lanka, but they'll have to do it without Steve Smith, who's been ruled out by concussion.
They don't pack light. Australia's baggage arriving in Canberra shortly before the players ahead of tomorrow's third T20. But there was a key item missing. Steve Smith remaining in Sydney after a desperate dive for a catch last night left him seeing stars.
Steve Smith has come down really, really hard here.
Smith will miss the remaining 3 matches, but he reassured fans, tweeting, "Thanks everyone for reaching out. My head has felt better, but I will be okay."
He was a bit rattled. He was, obviously he hit his head hard, so he wasn't in a great space, but we'll see how he is in the next few days.
The Aussies pulled off a nail-biting victory, beating Sri Lanka in a super over. Josh Hazlewood, the man of the moment, restricting the visitors to 1 for 5 when it counted most.
I think everyone wants to bowl those difficult overs and really nail them, and I guess that's when you get put up in lights in things like the IPL. It's good to be the go-to man.
Danica Mason, 9 News.
Speaking of the IPL, Tim David isn't a household name, but the Hobart Hurricanes all-rounder will be the highest paid Australian in this year's Indian Premier League. The Mumbai Indians paid $1.53 million for his services, eclipsing the marks of World Cup heroes David Warner and Pat Cummins. 6 years ago, the Los Angeles Rams gambled big, moving their team back from St. Louis and spending $7 billion building SoFi Stadium. Today it paid off. It was a Hollywood finish as LA became the second team in history to win a Super Bowl on their home turf.
It's a fairy tale ending fitting of a Hollywood script.
Aaron Donald swings him around, and that's it.
The Rams, with their star players in a shiny new $7 billion stadium, giving La La Land the prize it desperately wanted.
I wanted this so bad. I dreamed this, man. I dreamed this.
The greatest show on turf, LA's hometown crowd was sent into a rapture.
Stafford looking, got it, touchdown.
A touchdown to Odell Beckham Jr., who had $300,000 diamond-studded boots made for the occasion. But the wide receiver's knee quickly became the talking point.
He planted that left knee in the turf, and it did not look good.
A suspected ACL tear ended his night, and Cincinnati sensed their chance.
Burrow off the play fake, has some green in front of him. Instead, he's throwing down the field for T. Higgins. And the defender, Ramsey, went flying. Touchdown, 75 yards.
The Bengals held out wave after wave until the final 90 seconds.
Stafford looking for cut back shoulder. Got it.
No OBJ, the Rams still had Cooper Kupp. His 2 touchdowns were enough to earn the MVP award. At 36, Sean McVay becoming the youngest title-winning coach in history.
You talk about a resilient team, coaches, players. I'm so proud of this group, just proud to be associated with it.
And his Rams delivering Los Angeles a Super Bowl to celebrate. Sam Jordan, 9 News.
Liverpool's doing its bit to keep the Premier League title race alive, trying to reel in Manchester City. Holding it game in hand, the Reds trail City by 9 points after their 1-0 win at Burnley. Amy Clements is standing by with your full weather report. I've got my fingers crossed. What's George up to? Amy, what's in store for the rest of the week?
PT, a possible gusty storm tonight, but becoming less likely Tuesday and Wednesday. George and I will have your full weather forecast next.
Just 8 years old and left to die, Elizabeth's parents allegedly thought God would heal her. Now they're charged with murder. A current affair next.
The science of sex takes hold.
Oh.
Intimacy Week starts tonight, 7:30.
No illegal guns. Because an illegal gun is a dangerous gun for you and your family. If you know someone with an illegal gun, say something before it's too late. Crime Stoppers will keep your information safe and confidential. Tell us what you know on 1800 333 000.
He's here again. Exquisite. Is he Scandinavian? How exotic. We'd never leave the house. Why am I still thinking about this? That's it. I'm taking him home now. This all looks so good in my lounge room. Cam Interiors. Furniture you'll love to live with.
This is Australia. This is Australia.
Colorbond, made by Australia.
PEG is a day program offering the opportunity to participate, engage and grow whilst building capacity in a fun, safe environment. PEG Day Program, another initiative of HPA, now offering NDIS coordination of supports.
Are you sharing your home with ants, cockroaches, spiders or rats? With Quack Pest Control, we can help get your property back. With our yearly treatments and reminders, your home can remain pest-free. Specialising in domestic and commercial applications, with over 50 years of Territory family experience, call our friendly staff today. Quack Pest Control. All our patients die.
Tomorrow, Australia's newest airline reveals where they'll be flying and what it'll cost. How you'll be able to fly for just $50.
Plus, meet the Aussie motor racing legend's son, who's been fast-tracked into Formula One. We'll see you from 5:30.
This program brought to you by NT Keno, the Territory's biggest game. Are you the Territory's next millionaire?
Hello again. Only a slight chance of a shower tomorrow in Darwin before a mostly sunny day. Today though, the city reached a top of 33 degrees, the humidity reaching 86%, and right now it's around 32 degrees here in Cullen Bay. Taking a look at the satellite, and convective cloud with thunderstorms stretches from northern WA through northern parts of the Territory, associated with a trough and a low. To the capitals tomorrow, a shower or two in Brisbane, 28, the same top temperature in Sydney, Canberra climbing to 31, a top of 24 in Melbourne, some morning drizzle around in Hobart, 22, 30 and partly cloudy in Adelaide, and Perth heating up to 37 with plenty of sunshine. Back home to our backyard now, and 36 in Howard Springs and sunny, Katherine climbing to a top of 38. Moving down the Territory, also warm in Tennant Creek, mostly clear skies in Alice Springs, 37, and in Yulara a warm 39. On the Darwin Harbour, seas below half a metre, east to southeasterly winds around 10 knots, tending north to northwesterly 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon, then becoming west to northwesterly below 10 knots in the evening. A low tide of 1.8 metres at around midday, rising to nearly 7 metres just after 6:30 in the evening. And it's time now to check out our catch of the day, and today's lucky winner is Nathan, who caught this whopper, a 127 centimetre jewfish, during an overnight fishing trip at the sampan. And please don't forget to send us your catch of the day entries. Email us at newsphotos@9.com.au. Back on shore to Palmerston now, 36 and sunny, 1 degree warmer in Humpty Doo. And in Darwin, it will be 35 degrees with the sun set to be out mostly all day. Looking ahead at the rest of the week in the city, and those showers should start to pick up from Wednesday. Well, PT, wishing you a very happy Valentine's Day, and I hope you find a date just as cute as mine.
I'm speechless. I don't know if I could beat that at all. George is the best looking bloke I've seen all day. Thank you, Amy. To finance now, the All Ordinaries Index closed slightly higher today. Our dollar's buying 71 US cents and 52 pence. Well, that's 9 News for this Monday, believe it or not. I'm Paul Taylor. From all of the team and George, we wish you a good night. See you tomorrow at 6.